computer. Yeah.
Got it.
So I just heard recording in progress. And just as an FYI, I don't know how much of a Mac person you are, but I have one of the new Mac Minis with the new processor.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully like 55 square million miles of hard drive space. I do have enough hard drive space that if this runs till Sunday, I won't run out of hard drive space. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Plus, I have a backup literally sitting on a dual backup from Otherworld Computing. So I think there's 2 sets of backup drives connected right to it. So that's an overflow. So don't worry about time. Yeah, that's not
okay.
And then it normally takes 45 minutes to decompress, which sounds like a counseling session.
Should I go sit on the couch?
Yeah, there's a good with a guitar.
That's funny.
Yeah, so like I said, that should be easy, and then I can get that to you. One thing, there are like a million things I love about the Apple platform, one of which is I can mail a document larger than like 20 megabytes, because it's like, because at my work, they're proud to be an all Microsoft Windows shop. And I said, God, I feel like a Martian out here, so if I've got like a video file, it's like, crap, mail it through my Mac, send the link to the person, see if they can So, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, let me just get
At VisionWorks, we want you to feel safe, and we want you to see yourself in glasses and think, ooh. What if you get home and your ooh is more of a You have 100 days to change your mind. That's the VisionWorks difference. VisionWorks, the difference.
When you get a chip in your windshield, trust Safeway. This company was headed to the farmer's market.
I'm hearing someone's TV, unless you're talking about shipping windshields. I hope you're not. I had a chip in my windshield last year. That was not a good experience, although it was fixed by one of the local windshield places. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. For those of you who know me, my name is Russ. If you don't know me, my name is still Russ. And I think everybody knows I'm president of the Apple User Group, and I do outreach through a couple of different ways. One is the Meetup group, so I'm expecting some folks from there. We have a user group list we've had forever, and then I do all kinds of announcements. And our guest in a minute is going to be Diane Hamilton. But before then, we meet on the first Wednesday of every month. And at this point, I am going to be booking speakers very, very soon. Excuse me, for the next couple of months. If you have any topic or subject you would like to see, send me a note. And excuse me, let me do that real quick. And it can be either individuals or it can be subjects or whatever. Totally, completely fine. I'm not the least bit shy about approaching anybody and saying, hey, would you like to present to us? And almost inevitably, the answer comes back of, oh, of course we would. We've heard about you guys. We really like, the reputation you guys have. So it's cool. And hopefully you've had a chance to at least see the emails I've sent out. The app is, as I've said many times, it's really well designed, very nice. I need to use it more, so I don't want to demo it. I'm glad Diane's here to show it to us. Yay! So Diane, I'm going to make you co-something. I don't know what that is.
okay.
You're co-hosty. So you are now a co-hosty. So if you need to do anything, you should be able to do that. And we will start. We'll be getting folks in a couple minutes. And how do you want to handle questions? Do you want people to put questions in chat? Do you want people
Diane Hamilton has a very beautiful app.
No. Okay, Russ.
She wrote an app,
She wrote what?
an application.
Can you mute others?
Yep.
There we go.
Well, I know these people's voices, some of them, so it's like, because we're friends. I still want to meet in person. We've been meeting virtually for quite a while, but yeah.
So as far as the questions, I think maybe a good approach would be to have, accept questions in the chat. And if you could keep an eye on the chat, if there's anything that's appropriately timed, during the demo, then bring it up. If not, we'll save them for the end, because I'm sure some of it might get answered through the demo.
I'm going to unmute myself for just a second to say something I think you all know. Excuse me. This is being recorded. The Chicago Apple User Group does have a does have a YouTube page, and so I post these recordings on our YouTube page as well. Someone, I don't know who to say thank you to, but someone just sent me a note asking for live transcription. It turns out that live transcription does work. So if you see something on the bottom of your Zoom page that says closed caption or something like that, click on that. That's Zoom doing live transcription. I can't type that well. And you'll be able to see the transcription of what everybody is saying. I think it's actually a very cool feature, and feel free to use it. It helps in understanding. So with that, I'm going to turn the floor, ceiling, walls, and microphone over to my new friend, Diane, who has been extremely gracious and very friendly. And I might add, just on a personal, really good to work with. Yay! So this is, again, someone else we can work with. I've said many, many, many times, and I'll just leave it at this when I say this, that a lot of us, me included, come for the technology because the technology is so cool, but stay for the people because the people are so cool, so warm, so inviting. And we have yet another excellent example here. So I'm going to mute myself and turn the floor, ceiling, walls, and electrons over to my friend Diane.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. I want to thank you, Russ, for inviting us and for reaching out this summer to see if we would be interested in presenting. And you actually had reached out about another app that we have produced, and your timing was spot on. It couldn't have been any better because we had just released our newest app under my roof in April. And so we were gearing up to polish it off a little bit and start getting the word out. So the timing was great, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here tonight and to show it off because I am extremely excited about it. We use it every day, and I hope that you all will be as excited about it as we are. So what I thought I would do is just start with a really quick intro of our company and who we are, and then a little background about the app, and then we'll go into a live demo, if that sounds great. Thumbs up. Okay, we're good. So we'll do the questions at the end, but if you want to go ahead and put any questions in the chat, my friend Russ is going to be checking the chat for me. Excuse me, and if there's anything pertinent or that should be answered at that time, he's going to go ahead and unmute and join in on the conversation. So thank you very much. So just a really quick background. My husband, Kevin, who's also my business partner, and I started our company, Binary Formations. My tongue's a little tied as I get started. We started our company back in 2005 with the creation of our home inventory app for the Mac. Let me get a bit of water real quick. So, as a matter of fact, we just celebrated its 16th year on the market last month. And we're getting ready to celebrate our 15th year married next month. So some exciting times going on here. Yay. Yes, thank you. So we had always wanted and planned to bring the app to iOS. It was a Mac only app. But at the same time, we wanted much more than an inventory app. And this was based on our needs and what we were hearing from the market and our customers, because there's so much information in an inventory that can help us on almost a daily basis to manage our home, which is how Under My Roof came to be. So at its foundation, at its core, is an inventory. We had also wanted an app that ran on the Mac, of course, but also was designed and supported on all the Apple platforms. And we wanted the workflow to fit the platform. And we also wanted to take advantage of the latest and greatest Apple goodness, right? That is why we're in business and what we love to do as well. So I'm happy to say that Under My Roof supports the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac. It requires iOS 14 or later, and Mac OS 11 or later. We also wanted an app that followed our strong belief in data privacy. We are very, very much, you could say, privacy freaks. And we think your data is yours. You own your data, and we don't want access. We don't want anybody else to have access. So Under My Roof is an app that uses iCloud to do its sync across all the different devices. And we really designed Under My Roof to just to help save time, to help you save money and frustration when it comes to taking care of your home and everything in it. And I am going to, one of the things I didn't mention, I wanted to give you some information on how to contact us. It's Kevin and Diane Hamilton. We are a two-person company. We do contract out for some things that we're not so good at, and which is a good thing. Kevin does all of our design, our architecture, our development, and I do customer support. I'm in charge of QA, product management. So we have split responsibilities, and this is how you can contact us: undermyroof.app, or you can search the app stores. During our 16 years at this, we have brought to market 20 apps, but our focus was always on our inventory app, and now that, as well as Under My Roof.
Okay, I'm going to interject for just a second. Double check the chat. You might have to click chat, but I just put all of those contact methods into the chat. So
Perfect.
You may want to save that as a way to contact. The other thing I want to say is, and this should hopefully be pretty obvious, Diane responds, which is wonderful. I mean, I hate to say there are some developers who don't, but that's true. But Diane and her team, yeah, they do actually respond. So if you reach out to them, they will contact you back, which is so nice. I'm going to mute myself. But like I said, check the chat. That's hard to say, for the ways to contact them.
Awesome. Thank you. And now what I'd like to do is go ahead and share my iPad Pro. Again, the app runs on iPhone, iPad, and the Mac. We designed it for each individual platform, but a lot of the things will be similar across the platforms. Let me just see a little bit. As I said, also, we use iCloud to sync. I'm across your devices. And what that means is if you choose to sync, if you choose to run it on more devices, then the data will be in your personal iCloud account. Let me see. Let me get this. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. I was trying to do too many things at once. So it uses your personal iCloud account. So you're the only one who has access to that data. It is all yours. We don't have access. Nobody else has access, but you or whoever you share your inventory with. So your inventory can be shared. In fact, it was such an important feature for us that we actually stopped development last summer and pretty much yanked the sync engine out that we had for that reason and a number of other reasons, and rewrote it so that we could support share, because if you have more than one person in your household, everybody's responsible, right? So you can give other people read or write access. If you do, that data is not stored in their iCloud account. It still remains in yours. So it doesn't affect their storage, and you can take away that privilege at any time and they will no longer have access. So just a couple key things. All right, I'm going to come over. Let me get the highlighter for this. Let me see if I can do that. I know there's, oh, there we go. Anecdote. I am going to put a spotlight on my cursor. And I am going to start with once you open the app. When you first open the app, after you've installed it and gone through onboarding where you can start building your home, you will open into this view right here. And this is your home view. So up in the top left-hand corner, you can see a picture, an image of the home if you choose to add one. Now, this is really helpful because you can have as many homes in your inventory as you would like. We personally have one home, and let me be very clear, the picture you're seeing is not ours. We are indie developers. This is not our home. So all the data in here is preceded by us. It's not ours. So on the left-hand side is the list of the things that you are looking at. And this right here, we're looking at a list of locations within the home. But when you come into the app for the first time, you come into the home view. So over in this area at the top, I'll have any of the images that I have for it. I will have an area where I can click and fill in all the details about the home. And then as I scroll down, I can see other types of information associated with this home, assessments, any notes that I want to keep for the home. If there's warranties, if it's a new home, you can set those up here and know whether or not they're expired. I'm going to swipe up and I can see maintenance tasks for the home that I have set up. These are things that need to happen on a regular basis and you don't want to forget them, because if you forget them, they can end up costing you lots of money. So this is one of those save money features for this. And at the bottom, you can attach files. So maybe it's the deed of the home, maybe it's the plot, maybe it's the HOA covenants. And then any of the important documents that you need for that home. Down at the bottom, you can toggle between the different types of information as well. So your photos, your receipts. I don't have any receipts set up for this. And then you also have a place to add repairs that you have done to your home. This keeps a log of everything that you have done, the cost of it. It can keep, you can add the parts and supplies, where you bought them, any warranty associated with them. So you have every single thing about the repair here, including photos and receipts for the actual repair. I use the change air filters maintenance task all the time, because that's something I always forget. And I always forget the type and size of the air filters that are needed, because of course each one is different. So that's information I keep here. It saves me a ton of time, and I am notified when it needs to happen. I'm going to go back to detail, and let me bring this over here. Now, on the left-hand side, as I tap down through the different rooms or locations within the home or on your property, it's going to expand the information out to the right. So I just tapped on the kitchen room. On the far right, I see all the details about the kitchen, and it looks familiar, doesn't it? You've got the same layout and format for the kitchen that you had for the home. And surprise, surprise, you're going to see it again with the items when you go to the detail of each item. So for a location, you can set up the maintenance tasks. So there might be something specific to the kitchen, like taking care of the floors with a special treatment once a year. And at the bottom, you see the same options. You can add details about your kitchen, maybe the paint color. So you don't have to look that up when you need to do a touch up or run down to Lowe's to pick up the paint. You have it right there. You know exactly what you need, saving time and money, right? And coming back over here to repairs and changes, we see there is a change listed at the top, and changes really include remodels that you might do, renovations that you might take care of, modifications. Russ and I were talking about guitars in the group, and Kevin, he loves his guitars and he is modifying them left and right. So this is where he keeps them. So when he goes to get rid of them, he can put those modifications back to the original state of the guitar. So it's very handy. And I'm going to show you this here. And again, this is not my kitchen. What I would do for this kitchen is beautiful. But here you can see the details about the remodel, how much it costs, if it's going to add value to the price of your home, any notes, parts and supplies. It all looks very similar, but it's for the actual change that you made to your kitchen. With photos, I would love to keep photos of the progress. That would be really interesting. Okay, that is the changes. Now, as I mentioned, as I go through to the next item, I'm going to come look at the refrigerator down at the bottom. And yeah, let's do that. Now here, we've got a refrigerator, and I wanted to look at the warranty work because I don't know about you, but if you see any of our videos on our YouTube channel, I talk about our refrigerator a lot and having to use the warranty because it is the only appliance in our home that we buy an extended warranty for. And I have used it a number of times. So if I go into the item detail, I can see the warranty information right here. I can tap on the contact number and call them, and I have the extended warranty plan number right there. I've got the receipts for the item right here with proof of the warranty. And it takes me a couple minutes to call them in to fix the ice machine again, which always breaks. In fact, I have an appointment for it again. So I'm going to look at my repairs and you can see an example of that. I even have the contractor who comes out, their phone number. So it's just a wealth of information that makes things really fast and easy. And I can track how much that has cost me, and I can see right away how much money it saved me. That warranty was well worth it. All right, let's see. I'm going to come back over to the right list now, and just some common ways to navigate. Swiping to the left will give you the actions that you can perform on these items in the list. I can view it, or I can tap that to get back to the kitchen view. And that would be, I can also tap and hold. So your typical movements. And then on the Mac, it would be a right click or a click to select it. So using the platform and the navigation design for each platform. Now I am going to come up here, and I like to call this the magic bar. This is the magic bar, but really we call it the browse bar. If you tap on the browse bar, there you see all the magic. And this is how you can navigate to all the other magical things about the app. And so you can get to wherever you need to be for whatever is going on in your world at that time. I am going to head to the categories. So I'm going to tap on categories. I want to talk a little bit about the categories and how that's designed. And as you know, you have different bits of information based on the kind of category an item falls into. For instance, books have authors, records have artists, computer hardware has a lot of information that other types of items do not have. So when you install the app, we have a few of these categories that have special fields in them already. You can also create your own fields for your items. I'm going to go ahead and edit this category, and I'm going to look at hardware. In my hardware, I can see all kinds of fields, and we created ourselves a lot of fields specific for hardware, and then we added the fields to our field layout for every item that we add to the category of hardware, computer hardware. I hope that makes sense. And then you can also add custom fields. You can add as many custom fields as you want, and you can add those custom fields to as many field layouts for the different categories as you want. And when you add custom fields, we have a number of different types of custom fields you can add, which makes it really flexible for the different types of items that you may have in your home. There is a text field. There is a header field option. You have a multi-line text. There's actually an options custom field where you can specify multiple options and actually default it to a specific option if you would like to. These come in handy. They're very useful, and you'll see a number of them in our category of computer hardware. So let me get out of that. And you can move these fields around. So I'm going to get out of that. And if I go into computer hardware and I look at one of our tests, and again, this is seated data, you can see how this item detail looks much different than, say, for instance, something in my books. Very different. So you don't clutter up things with stuff that's not needed. Let me see how we do it on time. I better step it up. I want to show you now moving. I don't know how many moves you all have been through. Likely one. I've been through a lot. And we have some customers that have been through many, including international moves, and they can be very, very stressful. And so from our experience and from listening to the feedback through the years, moving was a very a category that can be so helpful if you have the right information available at your fingertips. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the moving interface that we put into Under My Roof. So if you're going to do a move, if you can create boxes as you are packing items, and when you have create a box, you can, let me just come down here to, you can add a barcode to the box. You can scan the barcode to automatically enter it into the barcode field of your box in Under My Roof, which is really cool. Let me come in, and then I can actually, I'm going to, where did I put it? Oh no, I forgot my prop. That's a fail. Anyway, I was going to scan the barcode on a box, and you can do that over here. Let me show you down here. If I scan a barcode, it will bring me up everything that is in that box, which is a huge help, especially if you're like us, when you still have boxes somewhere that have never been unpacked after the last move, or you're looking for something specific and you don't want to open the boxes to find it. So a really helpful feature there. Now, as you're packing, maybe you usually do that by room. So I'm going to come in here, and I've created a box called cooking utensils, and I am going to use the action down here at the bottom, the box, to actually fill my box. So I can come in here and I can pick items from the kitchen. So I can pick from any room in your inventory, and I can come in and say, okay, I have put the utensils in there. I have put the knife block in there, and I have put some pots and pans in there. Let me actually do that on the iPad instead of the Mac that I'm working on. Let's see, cooking utensils and the knife block. And so now all of those items are in that box. When I move to the other house, I can come down here as I'm unpacking and I can tap the house and I can change that from the demo home, and I don't have a second home set up, but if I had a second home set up, I would be able to move that to the new home. So simple, yet so helpful. And I am not afraid to move again. So that makes me happy. Let's see. And moving, another thing on the moving thing that I think the app really helps with, it's a not only is it a good time to get organized, but it's a good time to go through your home and your belongings and start thinking about who you want to leave, which loved one you want to leave your things with. And this is something when I helped my mom, I'm from a family of 6. When we helped my mom downsize a number of years ago, I spent a weekend with her beforehand and we went through her house and we documented every item. And she told us who she wanted to have what, and it's stuff that's not really monetarily worth anything. It has sentimental meaning. And there's 6 of us. So guess what? We're going to fight over it. So, I know that sounds horrible. We are a very loving family. So anyway, it's very helpful to be able to create heirs and to attach items to these heirs. So you know that your wishes are going to be taken care of, and you know you're not going to leave your loved ones in a tough situation that is sometimes hard to deal with. Now, where did I? And as far as the moving as well, you've got your items, you've got your boxes where you can put the weight. You can put, let me edit that, let me view that. You can put the size, and if you've ever hired a moving company to come in, you got to tell them how many boxes you have, and the more you can tell them, the more accurate your estimate is going to be for the move, and that goes with everything in your home. So having all of this information is a huge help when moving and trying to plan for that, and it's something that you wouldn't be able to do quickly without a tool like Under My Roof. I'm trying to keep an eye on time. Okay, so you can also take care of your collectibles. The collections feature is flexible enough for anything. We were talking guitars again, Russ and I, before we got started. And, you know, that's an area that can be tracked, coins, how about books. So it's unlimited, and there's also some pretty unique ways to value a collection. It's not only the sum of all the items in it. You could actually do it in different ways, a specific sum plus the item values, or just a specific value plus the item sums, or just the item values, because sometimes you have collections that are worth more if they are complete. I want to take a look. Okay, I'm going to look a little bit on policies, because that is another huge area that could take a lot of time to figure out without a tool like Under My Roof. How much insurance do you actually need? And are you underinsured in case something happens? You know, we are contacted by our market and our customers that are impacted by some of the natural disasters, the Paradise fires, the wildfires this year, they're horrible. And having to come and figure out find out that you're not insured enough, you don't want to do that afterwards. And again, having the list of items that you need when you file a claim, you don't want to have to do that afterwards. So the insurance side of things is very important to under my roof as well, to provide you that information extremely fast on any device that you need it on. And we actually do some coverage analysis. Once you enter your insurance information, we'll automatically calculate whether or not you're covered accurately down to the category level. So there are some categories that typically have a limit, like jewelry. So in this example right here, jewelry, the basic policy only covers $5,000 and one piece is only covered for $2,500. This is very typical, but you wouldn't know if you're underinsured if you didn't know how much jewelry you had, or if you didn't know how much each item was of value. So these are things that are calculated automatically in the policy view. We also have insurance policies for your auto, for health, for life. And it really interesting, I learned something new recently from one of our international clients, but cycling insurance is a separate policy, which I didn't realize that. I used to cycle, but years ago. But yeah, it's a thing. So we're looking at putting a specific policy type for cycling, and or you can actually just create it as another type of property insurance, and it'll follow the same logic as the current policy stuff. How am I doing on time? Let's see. All right. Oh, dispose items you see at the bottom. So if I'm in my item list, let's just go back to categories, and I want to delete an item. I can swipe it or right click on the Mac, and I can tap dispose or delete, and dispose will send it to, I can pick how I disposed of it. Maybe I donated it. Your disposed now will be kept in your disposed items list. Now, where this is really helpful, if you donate a lot and you itemize in your taxes, you can come in here and get a quick report of all the items in the total value, which is required when you file. You have to have proof. So you have that proof, and it's quick and it's ready whenever you need it. There are other reasons for disposing an item. Maybe you lent it out, maybe you trashed it or gifted it. So there's all kinds of different reasons for disposing an item, but you still can keep track of those without getting it, without losing it. Which brings me to reporting. Now, reporting is really, really robust, because as I mentioned in the start of this, the information in a basic inventory, it can be huge and it can be so useful. So these reports, we provide you with standard reports, but we also give you the option to create your own reports. So whether it's for insurance or it's an item detail list or for policies, anything you need, you can organize it however you want to organize it. You can sort, you can total values however you want. You can include different sections down here. It's all up to you. So we do see the application with some standard reports. So you don't have to come in here and create and create these. So, but no, it's very flexible and easy to come in and create your own. Very useful. Oh, and I can't believe I did this, but in the items, you know, if we look at the location list, if I'm coming down here, let's just look at the kitchen again. I can, the way you add items from this item or to the location or wherever you're navigated to in the application is down here at the bottom. You see the plus sign. I can add an item from there. And I get to do everything right there. The only thing that's required is the name. And this is how I add locations or boxes or anything to the app. And you can also do it really quickly with the barcode scanner. So let me just kind of see if I can. And that will add my book to the inventory. And I didn't mention this, but one of the things I wanted to show you all today was a sneak peek of a version of the app that we have in QA right now, which let me put my QA hat on. I'm responsible for that. But the update is really exciting. I am so, can you tell I'm excited? But it adds a couple of things to make adding things to your inventory, whether you do it from your phone while you're in a store or you do it at home. It makes it really simple and fast. And I wonder if I should go ahead and do that. Is that all right? If I'm just going to switch devices real quick. Okay, let me see. Here we go. Okay, other device. Okay, let me just go into my den, for instance, and I'm going to, down here at the bottom. Okay, this is a new feature. You notice the arrows next to the plus sign. Well, the plus sign is still there to add something. Really easily, and I can take a photo of it right there. We've also added, hold on, I tap and held the arrows, the plus sign, and now we have a quick entry mode. And this quick entry mode allows you to rapidly add items, and it will add it one of three ways. If you pointed at something, did you see that? We might have implemented a little bit of machine learning, and I am extremely excited about it because think about it. You can go around your room and just point at things and add it. Now, it's still learning, so it's not going to be as accurate in the beginning, but we're just excited to get it in there. You can also use it. So I'm going to go ahead and add this, and I didn't type anything in it. Put the electric guitar, it's got the photo. I'm going to add it. Now I'm going to come back over here. The camera didn't go away. I can just go on to the next item. And so it also does a barcode scan if you have a barcode on your item. So if you're in a store and you just bought something and you want to add it to your inventory, you can do that. It's really exciting. So I'm going to add that. Or if it doesn't recognize something, let's get my fancy lights here. You can take a picture and put the name in it yourself. So this is huge in the workflow, and it's using the devices as they should be used with the features that are available. So we are super excited about that. Now let me get out of that. Oh, one more thing. In the release as well, let me just go here. I can go into a field, any text field, and the text capture that Apple has implemented is available. See the camera down here? So we can capture text to automatically scan the text. There we go. And that was added. So that is really exciting as well. I don't think I actually hit add, so I think you get the idea. Insert. There we go. So easy. So think about the impact that has on, if you're scanning the receipts and you want to put that information into the actual item field, you can just scan the text and add it. I'm really excited. And I did want to mention that for the devices that don't support Apple's version of that feature, we have created it for those devices internally in the product. So we created that. So it will be supported on all devices, which is pretty exciting. Kevin worked his magic. So I'm wondering, before I do that, I'm going to, here, let me go back to this device again, because that was one of our test devices. And you know how that goes. So this button up here, the hamburger menu, this is where you get to the additional options within the app. So I'm going to tap that. And there's some coolness in here too. I told you this project was long, and part of it was because of the sync engine. And one of the things that Kevin and I have learned in our past lives working for enterprise software and in this life as consumer app developers is the more visibility you have, the better. And visibility into when things go wrong. So if you come down here to your settings, you can go into your settings, and this is where you can change how you default into the app. So I could come in here and change my default so that I come into the app viewing all items instead of the location list. All kinds of options in here, but what I really wanted to show you was down here. There is a sync status that will show you if all things are good. So if you're having any slowdowns or things aren't coming across, you can always look in here. And we might ask you to do that if you call support, and we need to, but lots of detail. And I'm going to go back there to settings. And there's also some utilities that we have built in where we can get database stats. Let's see. Oh, yes. So there's your settings, and on the Mac, you get to it the same way because the app on the Mac is a Catalyst app. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to go back to my hamburger menu again. And then I see something called manage schedules. So you noticed how we were able to add a maintenance task to the home, to a specific location, or to a specific item. And you can mark them complete in those different objects in the interface if you wanted to. Or you can come in here and you can see the entire maintenance list, upcoming events. You can check off everything for completion here. I better get my act together and start doing some of these maintenance tasks. So this is a really cool way to see everything at once and just get it done. And you always see a badge over here with the number of maintenance tasks that are outstanding. Here is also where you add new homes, and you can import a CSV file, or you can, when you first install, if you happen to be a home inventory customer that decides to switch, you don't have to, but decides they want a home management app, you can import that as well. And you can export, so you can save an archive. Say you don't use iCloud, you don't want to sync, you can use the export to create an archive of your inventory for safekeeping. So that was a lot of stuff. I hope it wasn't too confusing as I jumped around a bit. And I hope you are as excited as I am after seeing this and seeing how helpful it can be. We use it all the time, and we build stuff because we see a need, and we just hope that others do too, that you get excited. You can see how helpful this can be. And let me see, is there anything? I want to thank you for your time. I guess we can go to questions if there are questions. Does that sound good, Russ? You want to come back in the conversation?
Yep. There's a couple questions in the chat that a couple of people have asked. May asked, can they download and save the data you gave them access to? In other words, the other users. So is that an option?
Can you save the data and download it?
Yeah. So in other words, if if I'm part of your family and you give me access, can I save and download the data in addition to it being like in that home iCloud account? If I'm understanding the question correctly.
Okay. So it depends on what kind of access you give. Well, if you give them edit access or view, you can run reports.
Okay.
You can use the export. You know what? I'm going to have to verify that. I just invited Kevin in to sit with us during the Q&A, and I think you'll still be able to export it, but you will not be able to delete a home. You will not be able to delete an inventory, but you will be able to run reports and share those via PDF. And I'm like 99.9% sure you can export. Hello.
Hey.
I'm going to bring in Kevin.
Okay.
You can meet the one who is responsible for all the magic, making all of this happen.
Hey. Hey, Kevin.
We're in the Q&A part, and there was a question on if I've been shared an inventory, can I then export the data and share the data?
If you have, yes, you can. You cannot, yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean,
There may be a restriction I sometimes forget what I write. There may be a restriction if you share it read only.
Okay.
that's what I was thinking. So you got us on the first one.
I have to look at the code.
Well, the next one should be pretty easy. There are some maintenance tasks that send notifications like, you need to, check your battery and your smoke detector. How are those notifications sent to the user? Is it an email? Is it within the app? Is it a text? How are those notifications sent to the user?
It's within the notification system in the OS. So if you go to, settings or preferences on the Mac, system preferences on the Mac, you can, configure those notification settings if you want banners or sounds, whatever.
Okay. Next question, which I think you answered. Can you get any auto feeds from other sources or imports into this app, or is everything manual entries only?
You can import CSV right now. And we're going to be looking at adding in some other options. I have, when I get around to it, because we've got a pretty large backlog. I'm going to be creating some extensions to allow you to send from other apps, hopefully doing some shortcut stuff. And then we've got some other things for the Mac side that I don't really want to talk about just yet.
That's why you've already shown some very cool stuff. One of the people who's with us tonight actually does a lot of this as a business. So on his behalf, I was asking if you could talk about like your customers. What if a business uses this app? What's that like? Can you just give us like a couple of examples of not just like a homeowner, which I think that's kind of obvious, but is there any way that a business might be able to use this if they're either buying or selling, or if they're a landlord, or if they, do lots of other things? So I can see a lot of ways,
Great,
but from a real life perspective.
great. And I'll take that one. We as a business, our business side uses it. In fact, that's how we track all of our test devices and our development devices. It's how I track what I need to report, because let me put my tax accountant hat on. That's how I do our taxes for the business and use all of that information. I had a conversation with a gentleman recently who is responsible for ranches out in Texas. And there's, like 10, 15 of them, and they have people come in and live in those when they're working, and he needs to take care of all of those. So that would be an example. I also want to say that we don't target businesses. So our core focus is on the consumer. And so that's where all our time and effort will be focused. However, with that said, if it can be used for a small business, then definitely go for it, and it absolutely can. But we don't do modifications for other businesses. We don't. It's really consumer focused.
Yeah, we do have a number of people that manage properties, including formal property management companies, as well as a surprising number of art galleries.
Yes.
That use our software. But we, as far as features, we strictly stay consumer, because we work sort of in the business to business software world for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we just were like, we just want to make something for us.
Okay. And the next question, I was thinking the same thing, but this person in chat put it much better than I did in my head. Is this app considered legally binding, like a will, like assigning items to people?
No.
Okay.
What we recommend with that is you use this as supporting documentation with your
Lawyer.
with your lawyer as part of the documentation, but it is not binding. It's supporting.
Yeah, you can give it to them and they will attach it as an exhibit right off the wall.
Someone said this is quite nice, keeps info in usable way to separate remodel and upgrades versus maintenance and get adjusted cost basis when selling a house. So that's nice. This is a question which I think is extremely good and useful. Is there any audio or speech mode to help a blind person take or transcribe pictures of items to inventory?
Okay, not specifically in the app. It does support some of the things that iOS offers for that dictation into text fields. You can do that. We actually played with that years and years ago with Home Inventory, sort of our predecessor before Under My Roof. And we thought that we would get a larger uptake than we did on it. So we're kind of accessibility is something that's important to us. So we are, following Apple's lead, so we definitely support that where we can. We have a lot more work to do on it. We do On the iOS side, not specifically for blind people, but for people who do have a strong vision impairment, we do support the scalable text, dynamic text.
Mhm.
And the Mac doesn't have a dynamic text mode, so we kind of built one in
Oh,
under preferences. So on the Mac side, you can actually up the font size there if you want, and it'll work across, throughout the entire app. And then I don't know if Diane got a chance to demo it tonight, the vision, the text recognition
Yes.
with the camera.
Mhm.
That's sort of along that feature set too. That also helps you like capture serial numbers behind things, reach behind with your phone instead of having to pull it out as well. So those are things that, we have a list of things that we're going to keep doing on that front. But so it is in our mind.
okay. And then related question, does this app work with assistive tech like screen readers, keyboard only? And the Mac Mini was famous for being sold with a mini and a keyboard for people who didn't need a monitor. Does this app work with assistive tech like that?
It does to some degree. It's not as, it's not as far as it needs to go. We've done very little testing, quite frankly, on that front, but everything's kind of geared to put that plumbing in there. And we will be, as I mentioned earlier, we will be adding more as we go along.
Okay. And then someone asked me a question, which I think is a very good one. And I think you guys have a great answer to this. What's the cost of the app for a homeowner? I think it's a good answer. So.
Oh, okay. I think I'll take that one. So I'll put the product manager hat on. Yeah, so the app is free to download. It is a subscription purchase if you decide to purchase it. The free version will limit you to 10 items, but you can play with everything and anything in the app so you can experience it and make sure it's a fit for you. Subscription is $2.99 a month and
20 a year.
20 a year. And
1 week free trial.
thank you. Look what he said. 1 week free trial with both.
And I happen to personally think that's like a phenomenal, you're almost like giving the goods away. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. So yeah, I'm a subscriber. So this is something that we use and use more. So yeah, I think it's a phenomenally good deal.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think those are all the questions in the chat. I'm going to see if I can unmute everybody. We're asked to unmute, and
and can I add, we do answer our support email directly. So if anyone, feature requests, problems, whatever, if anyone emails supported binary formations, either Diane or I will be in touch real quick.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I've tried to unmute everybody. Feel free to ask questions because those were the questions in the chat. Anybody else have questions or comments or stuff like that?
Very nicely done.
Question for me, if I can, if you could clarify the cost. It's $299 a month to use the app.
$2.99 a month.
Oh,
or $20 a year.
I'm thinking Russ is a subscriber. Where in the hell, I'm thinking, what is he doing? How much property does this man own that I don't know? Anyway, thank you. That is a great price to inventory your home or do the kinds of things you talked about. Have listings, if not everything, just the main things that you would want to replace if you had to.
It certainly sounds better when it's come down to $2.99 from $299, right?
Yeah, it does. That makes it useful. You may not want to inventory all your dust bunnies, but there's some major things everybody has, as you mentioned, which even for in case of loss or theft, it's nice to have an inventory of pictures and something localized like that. I don't think if I move, I'd ever be that organized as that app would let me be. But it's, I don't want to ever move again. But good to know. Thank you. I'm gonna keep going now. I have to go out. Thank you. An excellent presentation. I've got to run and go pick up some dinner for myself and hubby. So I will say
Thank
good night
you.
to everybody. Thank you. Phenomenal,
Thank you.
really interesting app. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
presenting. Russ,
you.
thank you much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Everyone else stay on. Barbara's going to get dinner.
I'm gonna get dinner. I'm gonna go away.
Is
but-
that
I hope you enjoy
everybody?
it.
I can't get dinner for all of you guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry about.
And then if you don't
I
mind
would
me
love
asking,
to.
is there something with people named Hamilton who work in furniture? I've been wondering about that all night.
Oh, they're very good if you ever want them. Yeah, they do great. Let me tell you, they do great stuff if you're ever thinking of refurnishing
Thank
or
you,
refurbishing
Barbara.
your home. That's they.
Maybe we can partner with them. You'll have to reach out to them.
Yeah, because Gregor
Wouldn't have to
Hamilton's
change
on
the
and
name
he
on the
does this one.
stationery.
Yeah,
So just a follow up on the pricing. You know, we are a business. This is how we support our family. We do this full time. We will be experimenting at times with pricing to find that perfect price point since it's a new app. But whatever you purchase it at will be what it stays at for you.
oh, that's nice.
Right?
It is now that you
Oh,
say
it is now.
Yeah, actually, that's something we've done, you know, did Diane mention home inventory at all?
Just a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we've left that in the Mac App Store so we can update that, you know, for new operating systems. We're not adding new features, but we're keeping it running. So we don't believe in nickel and diming, and you know, we're not going to go charge the people who are happy with that app again. So that's just kind of our philosophy. I mean, we will change things as we need to, because it's getting more expensive out there. And the model's changed. You know, paid up front used to work fine. It doesn't work anymore. People, especially on phone and tab, you know, under iOS, or they just won't buy a paid upfront app. So we've had to, you know, adapt to that. So, but you know, we aren't the kind of company that goes and, you know, pulls the rug out from under you and says, aha, now.
yeah, which I appreciate. There are 3 really good comments that have come in since we started. Number 1, and I really like this. You may want to talk to the person named May, because the ending of this is a really smart idea. What May wrote is, what a great concept. I will always choose to pay for an app to keep my data private over getting it free and essentially paying with my privacy. I thought, dang. And the messages I was sending out, I said, you know, that's my favorite part of the whole thing, is the privacy. And I just think it's a very astutely stated way of putting it. That, you know, I will always choose to pay for an app to keep my data private over getting it for free and essentially paying with my privacy. It's like, that is really,
yeah, we don't want to know what anyone has. we don't even have analytics data. We don't.
Yeah, we don't keep it.
Yeah. And then next question also from May, which I think is another really smart question. What is the export's file type? Will you still need this app to view the export, or can you view the export on a browser, Excel, etc.?
Okay, so there's 2 ways to get data out. One is through reports, those will come out as PDF. And all the text in the PDF is selectable. It's not rendered as an image. The other is CSV, comma separated value is what it stands for. Those are text files. Those can be imported in a variety of databases, spreadsheets like Excel and numbers. And then I'm kind of toying around with JSON, so we can do binary data, the images as well, without having to do PDF. I'm not sure where that's going to go yet. I need to see, but we're not interested in locking up your data either.
I think it's so nice. And the person asks, is there an Android version, a Windows desktop version, you know, et cetera? Like, is there a Linux version, et cetera? So what other versions of this are there? Or is it just the big 3, Mac OS, iOS, and iPad OS?
Mac, iOS, and iPad.
Okay. pretty sure about that. And I just wanted to say from my perspective, I thought some of the stuff that you guys integrated and kind of previewed is coming. I mean, my jaw dropped. This is so cool the way you could like, scan text or take a picture of the guitar and it goes in like, oh my gosh, that is so cool, like goosebump cool. So yeah.
Now, the object recognition is experimental.
Understood.
It pegged Diane as a barbell.
I was not happy.
So I don't want to dominate questions. Other people pop in, please, go ahead and, because I know a lot of you, probably do have some questions. So go ahead.
A quick question, which is probably, I came in a few minutes late and it's kind of a dumb question is never dumb. Unless
No,
it's the
it's
answer.
not.
Every reference, all the references were to iCloud storage. There's obviously an ability to store it locally, right?
Yes,
Absolutely.
it does store locally.
Okay.
If sync is on, then the data will be synced to iCloud, but you always have on any device you're syncing to, or if you don't have sync, a local copy.
Okay.
So,
Yes, definitely. Because you may not have internet access.
Yeah, or whatever reason is, that's the I've been caught in the past where I thought I had choices and I didn't.
right.
That would make a good subject of a meeting. We should do that one. And then I realized I have a question, which I think everyone will want to know. We've all said very nice things about the pricing. Where do we get the app?
App Store, Mac App Store.
Okay. Is it also available on your website or is it App Store only?
App Store only.
But undermyroof.app will take you there.
Yeah, undermyroof.app. I should probably put that back on.
It's in the chat.
Yeah,
Preston.
I'll put it back.
Earlier.
And then another really good question, actually two of them. Is there a three questions, dark mode option, change text size, other accessibility options?
Yes and yes. On the dark mode is supported on all platforms. We support dynamic text on iOS and iPadOS. On the Mac, under preferences, you can change the text size there. And we are adding other accessibility options in the future, yeah.
Okay. Right now I'm copying and pasting all of the contact information back into chat. So
we talked a little bit about this before we got started, Russ. What I would like to ask, if we rely on feedback for all of our apps and for the improvements. So if you do take a look at it, if anybody takes a look at it, we truly are interested in your feedback, good or bad. We're always trying to improve. And if you like it, we're always grateful if you help us spread the word and share it with your circle, share it with Tim Cook, share it with your favorite media.
Oprah, I want Oprah.
Oprah, Ellen. So we are really good at creating wonderful apps, and we are not so good at PR and marketing. So I will throw that out there.
okay. Yeah, so I'm happy to spread the word, and I don't unfortunately have current contacts with, but I just want to kind of emphasize something we've talked about a couple times. I hope it still exists. Lighthouse for the Blind in Chicago is one of the national headquarters for assistive technology, and there's at least was, if not still is, with the University of Illinois, a major area for that. So I can probably connect you up, with some kind of stuff like that, because I used to work in some of that profession.
Okay.
So yeah, let's do that. And other people, please, put your questions out there, because again, these, our guests are wonderful. They're as open as you can possibly be, and just inviting our comments and feedback. So anything else people want to ask or add? Go ahead.
Do we still have any pros or cons thinking about just using the cloud? Dangers using the cloud these days, or is it pretty safe?
Whatever your confidence level is.
I feel okay, before we did iCloud support for this, we actually created several different smaller apps so that we could test CloudKit, which is the iCloud's behind the scenes database. Because data integrity is very important. So we really wanted to get our act together with less serious software. And we found it to be pretty rock solid. Now, iCloud does have moments where it's not available. It kind of will flake for a bit. For the most part, you'll never notice it. It'll just handle that stuff in the background, and when it's back available, it'll do its sync thing. The iCloud Drive, which we don't use, is still got some problems. I'll put it nicely. So,
and we spent a lot of time on sync for the app, a couple of rewrites, and then the whole infrastructure in the app to track things that aren't normally visible as far as statistics and messages, not data. So we have really gone about it, I think, in the most stable way we can. And yeah,
and let's see, I can show you a little thing here.
oh, I showed that.
Oh, you showed sync utilities.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so we have a number of utilities that are built into the app. Thankfully, they're not things that we've, for the most part, have had to use, but for not only for troubleshooting if something goes wrong, because we've all had that, like, you take a photo on your phone and you're like, when's it coming through? And there's no, you don't really have any feedback. So we've done a lot for that, so you can tell what's going on. But we've also done, added some utilities in case something does go wrong. And I'm not talking about like the servers are down and it's going to sync in a little bit. I'm talking about like something catastrophic happens. So we do have, and thankfully we haven't had to use them, but we do have some mechanisms to restore things back to either the state from the cloud or your local state to the cloud. So we do kind of, we do have some emergency planning in case something goes wrong.
And on the privacy side of the cloud, there's a reason we didn't go with a web app or, with a different type of data store. We wanted to go with Apple's cloud, with CloudKit. They're the experts in that. And we feel pretty confident with the privacy. They are a privacy focused company, which we are as well.
And yeah, we have enough trouble, just keeping up with how to develop software, much less becoming security experts for cloud. So, we don't want to take on that role, and we don't want your data. We don't want to see it. We don't want to own it or have it on any server that we control. So we don't see it in any way.
So a related question. I love all this privacy stuff. Like, you're my best friend. Seriously. Three kind of all related questions. Is the app a data hog? Will it burn up a lot of data space, or will it use up a lot of bandwidth?
What was the last one?
Bandwidth.
Will it use up a lot of bandwidth?
It can. If you put in, now we do have some scaling options for the photos, but for both the level of compression used as well as constraints on the size. But if you go and you turn it up to highest quality and you don't have the photo scaled down, and you throw a lot of pictures in there and you're throwing a lot of PDF files and stuff, then yeah, it'll take up a lot of space. We only sync what we need to. So, once you add a photo, it syncs it, it'll upload it, it'll download it on the machines that it needs to, but it won't re-download it unless it has to, unless you've edited it or something. So it's potentially, it could, yeah, absolutely. How much, it'll use however much you put in there, kind of like photos. If you just put a few photos in, it's fine. If you take pictures of everything, then it's going to use a lot of space.
So in a real practical example, you've got demo home there, which unfortunately is not for sale. I'd love to buy that for 20 bucks.
I know, right?
Right. How big is that file?
Photo, that's not our house.
Yeah.
She said that 11 times, by the way. How big is that file?
I don't honestly know.
Here, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can check. That's probably not a good representation.
Okay.
Our personal file, which I do take a ton of photos, right?
All right.
Our personal file is just over a gig.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
But I'll take, like something like this, has been, this guy here has been modified a lot.
Sure.
And I've got photos of every single modification.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
That's serious. Okay. Yeah, but that just kind of gives an idea of what we're actually looking at. So. Oh, yeah, someone came up with a really good comment. Actually, this is May. Same person keeps, you might want to hire May. May's got some good comments here. That would be a good future feature. That's hard to say so early in the morning. Auto compressing the uploaded photos. Like, yeah, that would actually.
We do compress them. You can control how much compression, but we do. You actually have different levels of compression depending on you can set for photos or receipts. So Diane's showing you the options right there.
Right. Oh, okay. I see like photo quality is medium, 1600 by 1600. Yeah. So, other questions from people? Don't be shy. Don't be quiet. I mean, we've got our friends in Virginia over there. So any other questions?
It's good for me.
Well, if there are no other questions, again, I want to thank you guys very, very, very much. I agree with everyone else. It's been just absolutely spectacularly good on like a lot of different levels. Just, your approachability, accessibility. And as I've said several times, when I communicated, you guys responded. So they really do respond. No kidding. I think the app is wonderful. It's amazing. I love the way you guys have integrated the technology. And as I've said many, many times, my favorite thing about this is the privacy. I mean, goodness knows, yes. Thank you. So I'm going to encourage everyone to do basically two things. One, go to the App Store, at least try a free week demo. And number two, since I am a professional recruiter during my day job, you have now been given a new job. You've been promoted. Your new job is evangelist. You get to tell people about this. So
we really appreciate the opportunity and we really appreciate the time you all have spent with us this evening.
Yeah, thanks. And
very grateful.
Absolutely. And this is being recorded. I will upload it to the Chicago Apple User Group's YouTube page. God, that's hard to say so in the morning. Probably this weekend sometime.
Great.
Or early next week. And by the way, to you guys in Virginia, almost without exception, we get a lot more views on our YouTube page than we get in live presentations. So, so this will be seen by many more people in video delay than it will in live person. So cool.
Awesome.
So any other questions, comments for our guests? Anything else? Sounds like we're good. Okay. Well, I think we're all good. So thank you everybody for coming in. Yay.
Russ, with your spelling, does this thing have autocorrect?
It would need like 44 autocorrects.
We got your back.
Yeah.
We've got your back.
I think they got my back, left, right, front, top, and bottom, actually.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. And like I said, I'll close this out. And like I said, I'll upload this to the club's YouTube page. If you want to find it ahead of time, just go to YouTube and look up Chicago Apple User Group. And we have a handful of meetings.
We'll definitely do that.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye now.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.